We'll get there, you guys. We'll get there. I promise. I'm coming. Just let this finish here. Okay, so funny story, you guys. I started the show without clicking going live. I was pulling up your comments, completely just sitting here talking to myself for the last 4 minutes and then having technical difficulties trying to get everything started. Wow, total blonde moment. No insult to blondes, but that definitely was a blonde moment. Oh, my mom made me so mad going to that game, and then that one not cashing on the Avs. Or the Avs would have cashed if I would not have known my mom was going to the game. I would have stayed on the Avs. I did bet that under, but man, I tell you. So yeah, I've had a blonde moment. We're not going to have blonde moments during this game. And again, no insult to blondes, just the term. I was talking to myself for the last 4 minutes here, thinking I was talking to you guys, not realizing the big red flashing button was not going. So welcome to the show, you guys. I'm Joe. This is Pocket with Joe. We got 13 games to go over on the ice today. And I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. We're going to go over these quick. If you joined me yesterday, that long shot parlay didn't hit because of the Penguins. We went 4-1 in that long shot parlay. Now, the dog parlay didn't hit either. Islanders not able to keep it tight. Bruins just dominated in that one. We did get the Sharks plus the 1.5. On that puck line. And I asked you guys to sprinkle on that money line. So I hope you did. Now, my best bet, my favorite bet of the day was the Tampa Bay Lightning in that first period, minus 0.5 on that puck line. So I hope you guys all hit that as well. It was absolutely money. They came out destroyed. Their team total was 3.5. They went over that team total in that first period. So I hope you guys cashed on that. Always listen for my favorite, my best bet. It's normally what premium clients are getting. So hint, hint there on that one. 13 games. We've got lots of games on the ice. Islanders, I know, Islanders absolutely are not playing strong hockey at all. Bolts and the over, we're going to talk about that one in a couple minutes. But again, thank you guys for joining me here today. Let's look at the first game on the board. At least I didn't do the whole show talking to myself. I'm looking at that as a win, you guys. The first game on the board, we have the Anaheim Ducks. So let me pull up my lines here. I just want to make sure nothing has changed with these lines before I give you. Okay, so the Anaheim Ducks are coming in at plus 140, minus 165 here for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and a total of 6.5. Now, Elvis is expected in goal for the Columbus Blue Jackets. I cannot trust Elvis at all. We've got two teams on losing streaks. The Ducks on the longest. They've lost their last 5. Ducks struggling absolutely on the road. 4-15, 2-2 on the road this season. But we look at them versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. They won 6 of the last 7 meetings. The road teams also 4-1 in the last 5 meetings. The Blue Jackets are not strong in the fourth game in a 4-6 situation. They've gone 0-5. I think there's value in the Anaheim Ducks here at plus 140. Do I love this bet? No. Am I going to rush and bet it? No. But I think if you're looking to take a chance on one of these teams, look for the Ducks, who, again, are not a solid team, but have their opportunities where we can make money with them, for them to come out here and get the win on the road. I love that you guys are looking at that money line as well. Elvis is that bad. You are right. And we trend to the under between these two, going 4-1 in the last 5 meetings to that under, Benji. So I like the way you're looking with that under 6.5. Neither of these teams has been scoring goals at all. Both of them averaging under 2.5 for the Columbus Blue Jackets, 2.27 for the Anaheim Ducks. We know that Johnny Hockey plays for Columbus Blue Jackets. This team should be able to get some goals. They're not coming even close to 3 goals per game. So absolutely struggling. Porter, you can get all the links for everything I have below this YouTube video here. Yeah, both teams cannot score. It's like they're allergic to finding the back of that net. So we'll see what happens in this one. I lean to the under, though. I think this is a game where the Ducks could make some money. But you guys, if you don't have to bet this one, it's not one you got to trust in two bad teams to do what is expected of them, which is never a good thing. Let's look at the next game on the ice at 7 o'clock Eastern. The Boston Bruins and the New York Rangers face off. Now, Boston just dominated yesterday in that big 4-1 win. They've won their last 3 games. They're coming in here expected to start Swarman. We saw Allmark yesterday. Now, he's off a shutout in his last game. He has a 2.35 goals against average. The Boston Bruins, great price. You're getting them. And if you like Boston, I think this is a nice opportunity to get them at such a low price at minus. Let me just make sure that hasn't changed. I got it minus 113 earlier. It's now minus 115. We're looking at minus 105 here for the New York Rangers. This total sitting steady at 5.5. You guys know how I feel about 5.5s. It is quite the struggle taking these 5.5s because they're getting blown out of the water. Now, these two teams, when they do play, trend to that under, but I absolutely can't get there in this one. We've got Boston on a back-to-back. Boston on that back-to-back does trend to the over. They're 8-2-1 in their last 11 games playing on that back-to-back. And the Rangers, when they play teams with winning records, they really come out strong offensively, knowing a lot of the time they have to fire and get these shots on goal, and they end up averaging more goals. So they're 7-1-1 in their last 9 games versus teams with winning records above 600. So I do think we have a complete battle on the ice. I like the over 5.5 more than I do like the Bruins here, just because I look at this and the Rangers really have been strong against teams with winning records above 600, winning 5 of the last 6. But Boston has won 6 of their last 8 meetings in New York. They're 5-0 in their last 5 games, playing on no rest. This is going to be a complete battle out on the ice. It's a coin flip for me, you guys, but I do lean on the Bruins. Just so strong on the road, so strong overall. I think they are the better team. Now, Igor expected here for the New York Rangers. My only issue with Boston is a Swarman expected instead of Allmark in this one, but Swarman is still a very solid goalie. He has a better goals against average than Igor Shesterkin coming into this. So it's going to be a great game on the ice, and I can't wait to watch this one. Bruins back-to-back wins. I can definitely see it. And what great value we are getting here on the Boston Bruins in this one. Two teams that can definitely find the back of the net. Boston averaging 3.82 goals per game, and the Rangers at 3.16. So they're getting the shots on goal. All the recipe points to the over 5.5, though these defenses are really solid. But like I said, with Swarman, I think it goes over. Now, the Chicago Blackhawks and the Philadelphia Flyers, 7 o'clock Eastern in this one. Chicago coming in at plus 180. We got minus a 220 here, 225 even for the Philadelphia Flyers. Huge favorites in this. Now, Carter Hart expected in goal for the Philadelphia Flyers here. Peter Marat's expected for the Chicago Blackhawks. Chicago completely struggling this season. They're 3-11-2 on the road this season. We got a Philadelphia Flyers team that is off that nice win over the Ducks. It was a 5-2 win. We saw the Chicago Blackhawks really step up versus the Sabres in their last game. They got the OT win 4-3. I don't think Chicago comes in and gets another win in this one. The Philadelphia Flyers, I think, are the stronger and better team on both sides of the puck. They've won 8 of their last 10 games. I'm with Carter Hart here. I trust in this team. Now, you can take the Flyers here, minus 1.5. You're getting around plus 110 in value on this. You can take their team total over 3.5. I like that as well. You're getting around minus 125 on the Flyers team total over that 3.5. When we look at the Chicago Blackhawks, their defense has not been a strength. Either has their offense, but this defense is allowing 3.69 goals per game and 33.5 shots on goal. Now, Peter Marat's coming in here with a 4.17 goals against average. And we know the Philadelphia Flyers, while they're being held to under 3, they have been getting more goals as of late. And we've seen them put up more goals against teams with stronger defenses than the Chicago Blackhawks. So I'm pretty confident that they have a strong offensive game in this one. Go over that team total 3.5. I think that's the best bet of this game. When I look at this total, though, I don't know if I can take the over 6 in the full game. I could see this being a very lopsided game with the Chicago Blackhawks struggling to score. This all comes down to how hard Carter Hart plays in this one. So I could see this being a 4-0 game, a 4-1 game, a 4-2 game, and then we get that push at 6. Or this could be a 5-2 game, and then we go over that total. So the only total I like is the Flyers team total over. I'm not touching anything that has to do with the Chicago Blackhawks. I just don't feel it today, knowing how they're going to do against Carter Hart. Flyers team total over, Flyers money line, and the Kings money line. I like it. You guys know I'm riding the Kings tonight. We'll get to that game. It is up at the end of these 13 games here with the Kings playing the Dallas Stars tonight. But again, we'll talk about that one in a minute. Okay, the next game on the board, we have the Florida Panthers taking on the Montreal Canadiens. Now the Panthers coming in as massive favorites at minus 245 here on the money line, plus 205 for the Montreal Canadiens, total of 6.5. Now we have seen a tiny bit of movement, but not much movement in this one. Bobrovsky expected in goal for the Florida Panthers. He's got a 3.25 goals against average. This team fires on goal. We know that 35.4 shots on goal per game they average. Now Sam Montembeault expected here for the Montreal Canadiens. He's got a 3.05 goals against average, and we can get his save shots on goal tonight is sitting at 30.5. With the amount of shots on goal that the Florida Panthers put up, I do expect those shots to come in tonight because the Montreal Canadiens are allowing an average of 33.8. When we look at Sam Montembeault in the last game versus the Florida Panthers back in December, now the Florida Panthers did win that. It was a 7-2 win, but Sam Montembeault saved 34 of 41 shots on goal in December in that win. I'm expecting more out of him tonight. I actually think the Montreal Canadiens can keep competitive in this one. So the first bet I'm going to do, one of my favorite prop bets of the day, is take Sam Montembeault save shots on goal over 30.5. I do think that comes in. We're getting that around minus 112 in this game. Now, this is a battle of the Atlantic. We know this is going to be a hard-hitting battle out on that ice. The Panthers have absolutely struggled in Montreal. They've gone 1-4 in their last 5 meetings in Montreal. And yes, they've gone 5-1 in the last 6 meetings overall, but something about playing in Montreal is not a good thing here for this team. I'm going to look at taking Montreal plus 1.5 on that puck line at minus 120. I do think there is a lot of value in this one, but I'm also going to take Montreal's team total over 2.5. I think that is the best bet of this game. It's coming in at minus 102. I do see them getting some goals on Bobrovsky in this one. They're off an overtime loss, the Panthers here, versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I think this is a good opportunity for Montreal to get a nice win here. I have a little bit of faith in them. I'm going to sprinkle on that money line. We look at them at home. They've gone 10-11, 0-0 at home this season. They're 9-12 on that puck line. The Panthers on the road are 10-14-2 on the road this season, 8-18 on the road on that puck line. I just feel like this is not a good spot for them coming into Montreal. The home team has gone 13-3 in the last 16 meetings, and the over has hit in the last 5. So best bet of this game, I think, is Montreal's team total over 2.5. Then I'm going to take Montreal plus 1.5 at minus 120, and then I'm going to sprinkle on that money line, and I expect it to go over 6.5. Defense has really stepped up for Montreal. And remember, Sam Montembeault also was originally drafted by the Florida Panthers back in 2015. He played a couple of seasons for them, really limited ice time. This is against his old team. When these teams come out and play against their old teams, I think it's a little bit of, let me show you what I got, especially the goalies being moved. You got to love Matthew Tkachuk. That is for sure. Okay, let's look at the next game on the ice, you guys. We have the Minnesota Wild. I'm just checking lines here. Sorry. The Minnesota Wild taking on the Carolina Hurricanes at 7 o'clock Eastern. We have the Canes coming in here at minus 172 plus 150 for the Minnesota Wild. Total sitting solid at 5.5. You guys know how I feel about these 5.5s. It is so hard to take a 5.5, but I think in this one, I lean to that under. We've got phenomenal goaltending in here with Marc-Andre Fleury expected for the Minnesota Wild. He's got a 2.86 goals against average. The last time these teams played, the Wild got the win. It was a 2-1 win. I'm expecting a very, very similar game to that. Frederik Andersen expected here for the Carolina Hurricanes. The Wild of the defense really has been stepping up. They're holding opponents to 2.74 goals per game and 29.9 shots on goal. When we look at the Carolina Hurricanes, number one team overall in the league for allowed shots on goal, holding opponents to 26.3. I know it's scary to take an under 5.5. I hate taking it, but I do think this is one stays under. Frederik Andersen is back for the Carolina Hurricanes. He's got a 2.48 goals against average. Now, instead of taking the full game under 5.5, I think the best bet is to take that first period under 1.5. I'm looking for both defenses to really lock things up in this first period. Then we don't have to worry about an empty netter that screws us at the end. When we look at the Carolina Hurricanes, they are coming in off so much rest. I expect them to really lock down the Wild and for Marc-Andre Fleury to stand on his head in this game. So we've also seen the Canes off that loss. They lost last Saturday in a shootout loss to the Vancouver Canucks. So they're going to be hungry to get this win. The Wild are 1-4 in their last 5 meetings in Carolina as well. So this is going to be a battle. It's going to be a low scoring. There might be a little bit of puck luck for someone, so I don't want to take a side. Just give me the under 1.5 in that first period. Yeah, it's a very close call game for sure. Yeah, my mom definitely screwed that game yesterday. I called her after to thank her for just telling me that she was going. I wish she hadn't. She's probably listening. I love you, Mom. It's okay. It's okay that the Avs still won when I liked them in the first place. Let's look at the next game on the board here. The Winnipeg Jets taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, this one at 7 o'clock Eastern. Got so much hockey to watch tonight, you guys. It's going to be a phenomenal night. The Winnipeg Jets coming in here at plus 138. The Toronto Maple Leafs at minus 166. Connor Hellebuck expected in goal for the Winnipeg Jets. Now, you guys all know I love Connor Hellebuck, but I love Connor Hellebuck at home. He's got a 2.42 goals against average on the season, and Samsonov confirmed here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's got a 2.24. Now, when we look at these teams, both so strong and explosive offensively, we've got the Leafs averaging that 3.38 goals per game, and the Winnipeg Jets averaging 3.29. Now, defensively, these teams are absolutely solid. We do have a little bit of defensive edge, I think, to the Toronto Maple Leafs, who hold opponents to 28.4 shots on goal. Now, we see the Jets here off that loss to the Montreal Canadiens, where Montreal put up 4 goals on them, and they were only able to get 1. This is their second game of a 5-game road trip. Their schedule ahead looks a little bit harder, but this is the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're going to want to come to play in this one. Now, we have Toronto coming in off a win versus the Panthers. It was an overtime win on Tuesday night. It was a 5-4 win for them. The last time these teams did match up, Toronto got a nice big win, a 4-1. They won their last 6 games too, following overtime. So I do lean on the Toronto Maple Leafs here. We've got strong trends to the road team, but when we're looking at what these teams have been doing, I just think Toronto at home is so phenomenally strong, going 16-3-3-1. If this game was in Winnipeg, I think I'd want to lean on Winnipeg, and I know that road team trend is strong between these two, going 7-3. But I could see Toronto pulling this one off at home. I think the best bet in this one, though, is not to look at the side. It's to look at the over 6.5. I think this is a 4-3 game all day long in this one. We know Connor Hellebuck can let up some on the road. Samsonov should let in a couple as well. These offenses are so highly explosive. I know we've got strong defenses, but I think this is a game where we see Toronto again get these goals on Winnipeg. We just need Winnipeg to put up their share of the goals as of late. When we look at the Jets, they have been averaging over 3 goals per game in their last couple. The Leafs they've just been shy of 3 in their last couple, but I do think this is an offensive one in this one today. You know what, Johnny? Great. I love that you bet team totals. I love these team totals for sure. The team total for the Winnipeg Jets is probably coming in at 2.5, being the dog, or are you getting a 3.5 in that one? Because we got a 6.5 total. I have not looked at their team total. So let us know, Johnny, what you're getting in there. Now, the New York Islanders and the Buffalo Sabres. This one kicks off at 7:30 Eastern, you guys. We have the New York Islanders coming in here as the dog on the road. And this Islanders team, so inconsistent. They've lost their last 6 games as an underdog as well. They're coming in at, let me just double check this line. Yeah, plus 105. It's sitting at minus 125 for the Buffalo Sabres. I think Buffalo is the right answer at home. We saw New York. They're on this back-to-back. They just got destroyed by the Bruins. They didn't even have a chance in that game yesterday. And we've looked at the Sabres. They've lost their last 2 games. Langton confirmed in goal for them. He's got a 3.47 goals against average. Their defense of the Sabres is really letting themselves down with a 3.49 goals against average and 33.3 shots on goal. Now, the New York Islanders, on the other hand, Sorokin, a strong goalie, but like I said, this team is better at home than they are on the road. They're averaging just under 3 goals per game, just shy of it at 2.98 and 30.5 shots on goal. Now, when we look at what they allow, the New York Islanders are stronger defensively. This team is only allowing 2.72 goals per game and 31.1. We have seen this Buffalo Sabres team be so explosive offensively. I'm looking for Tage Thompson to come out and get a goal, anytime goal in this one. I think we see an explosive game out of the Buffalo Sabres here on home ice in this one. Now, the home team has gone 17-5 in the last 22 meetings. And when we look at the Sabres, 1-5 in their last 6 overall, but the Islanders 1-5 in their last 6 road games. This team struggling on the road. They're also 1-6 in their last 7 overall. So give me the Sabres in this one, but also give me the over 6. I look at the defense of the Buffalo Sabres. We know the New York Islanders are going to get a couple here. With the Islanders on that back-to-back, I really do expect the Sabres to get their share of the goals as well. I think this is a 4-2 at the worst style game. We get the push at the 6, but I expect a 5-2 ending here for the Buffalo Sabres. So I think this is a good game. I feel like the Sabres in this one. You're getting the Jets over 2.5 at minus 128 and the Leafs over 3.5 at plus 110. I definitely like that. I think there's a great place to make money there. Joe, no Starbucks today. I have my trusty old friend water. My voice, I don't know if you guys have noticed, has been a little scratchy as of late. Got to definitely keep drinking my water with a squirt of lemon, because I've been talking so much. So you talk too much, you got to drink more water. The Nashville Predators and the St. Louis Blues, 8 o'clock Eastern today. We have the Preds coming in here at minus 120, the St. Louis Blues at plus 100, up to minus 105. We've seen a little bit of movement on this, but that total is still sitting steady at 6. Binghamton expected here for the Blues. He's got a 3.21 goals against average. We got Saros expected here for the Preds. He's got a 2.68. Now, when we look at this, this is a one-off road trip for the Predators. They won their last 2 games. We're seeing the Blues off that win over the Sens on Monday. This is a battle of the Central, with the Predators sitting 5th and the Blues sitting 6th in the Central. Predators have struggled versus the St. Louis Blues, and I expect it again today. This Blues team is such a strong team in certain situations and against certain opponents. Other games, you just shake your head and think, what the heck are they doing? I'm loving what we're seeing out of Jordan Binghamton as of late. This defense really is their Achilles heels. This defense really needs to step up. But I think we see them stepping up in this one, because we look at the Preds. This is not a team that averages a lot of goals. They're being held to 2.73 goals per game on average and 31.1 shots on goal. St. Louis, on the other hand, is above that number of 3, averaging 3.07 goals per game. And being limited, though, to 28.6 shots on goal. I'm looking for the Predators to continue their trends of struggling versus the St. Louis Blues. They've only won 1 of the last 5 meetings versus the St. Louis Blues. They've also struggled against the Central, going 1-5 in their last 6 versus the Central. They're on their 3rd game of a 3-game in 4-day situation, which is never a good thing for the Nashville Predators, going 5-11 in their last 16 in this situation. And they're also 2-5 in their last 7 of the 4th game in a 4-6 situation, which again, they are in. So I think we got tired legs out of the Predators, even though they want to get this win. I don't think they're going to be able to stop the Blues offensively. So I'm looking for the Blues to come out, have a big night, get this win. Home underdog at +100 at -105. Value. It screams value all day. And I have to go on the over because I do think the Blues are going to get us enough goals in this one, and the Predators will still get here at least 1 on Jordan Binnington. I expect 2. This game could be a 4-3 style game as well because the Predators really will be hungry to get this win. So I think this is going to be a complete battle on the ice. I think we go over that total. For the last 5 meetings have gone over, and I think the Blues get the win. Blues on the money line. I love seeing you guys are on the same page with me. Okay, you guys, tons of games on the board today. Let's look at the next one here. Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Montreal Canadiens. We're seeing a little bit of movement on this line. +100 right now for the Tampa Bay Lightning, -120 here for the Edmonton Oilers. The total is sitting solid at 5.5. Vasilevsky expected here for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Jack Campbell confirmed for the Edmonton Oilers. I really thought we would have seen Skinner in goal in this one, but we're not. We've got Tampa on a back-to-back. Now they're on a Pacific road trip here. They got the win over the Canucks. They made us money last night in that first period. They cashed their team total in that first period. They made us money overall. They covered that puck line. Beautiful win over the Canucks, 5-2. Now, they're facing the Oilers here. The Oilers got that nice win. They've won their last 4, actually. They got a big win over the Kraken, 5-2 win as well in that one. I got to go with the home team here. We look at Tampa. Tampa then has Calgary on their next game. This is a hard road trip for them here. On the back-to-back, I just can't trust them. They've also struggled in Edmonton. So let alone that back-to-back, the struggles in Edmonton alone point me towards the Edmonton Oilers at -120, -125. The Lightning only have won 2 of the last 9 meetings in Edmonton. They are 5-2 in the last 7 meetings overall, but they're getting those wins on home ice. The home team is major in this one. That home ice advantage, 9-7 in the last, 19-7 in the last 26 meetings for the home team. The Oilers, like I said, they've won their last 4. Evander Kane is back. This team is really pumped. We got Evander Kane back. He played his first game in the last one versus the Kraken. He looked great out there on the ice. I expect a big night out of him tonight. We got Skinner, the backup goalie, just had a baby. This team is really in a positive way right now. In a positive way, if that makes sense. You guys know what I mean. This team has some positivity behind them. So I'm going to look at them here. They're also really strong versus the Eastern Conference, going 4-1 in their last 5. I think that first period goes over 1.5. I'm looking for a higher scoring first period. Too much juice, you guys, -164. So unless you want to parlay that first period over, it's the only way I would go with that. Edmonton's team total over 3.5. We're getting plus money at +122. Shop those lines. I can see that one over at FanDuel at +122. You can shop your lines over at Betstamp. Use referral code Madden over there. I do think this is a great place to take the home team in Edmonton, even though I say they are Deadmonton. Okay, I love that you guys are jumping in here. I am glad that you're hitting, Chad, the Blues on the money line. Gotta love a home dog for sure. Oilers, yeah, back to being favorites. I wish I could grab the Oilers as a dog if that line moves a little bit more. I do like Tampa, and I like what we've seen out of Tampa, but I can't trust a Tampa on that back-to-back with Calgary on deck and how they've struggled. So the next game on the board, it's going to be a good one. The Washington Capitals versus the Arizona Coyotes. Now, line movement on this, minus 210 sitting for the Washington Capitals, plus 180, so no movement. For the Arizona Coyotes, total 6. Kemper expected here for the Capitals. Now, the Capitals have struggled versus the Arizona Coyotes. I could see this happening in this one. The last time these teams played, it was a lower scoring game with the Arizona Coyotes walking away with the win. It was a 3-2 win back in November. Now, Coyotes sitting here 8-6-2 at home this season. The Capitals 11-9-1-2 on the road. Capitals are the better team, but they lost their last game to the Minnesota Wild. It was a 4-2 loss. This is their first game of a road trip, and look at who they have on deck. They have the Knights on deck on Saturday, and then they have the Colorado Avalanche and the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think this is a situation where the Washington Capitals could overlook the Arizona Coyotes. I don't know if I have enough faith in the Coyotes to get the full-out win. I'd be looking at the Coyotes on that puck line. This team is strong on the puck line at home, going 10-6 at home on that puck line. Washington, I know, is a strong road puck line team, going 14-9. But looking at the struggles of the Capitals in Arizona, that 3-7 in the last 10 meetings really sticks out in Arizona. I got to take the Coyotes plus 1.5 at minus 145. Now, the Capitals are also 1-5 in their last 6 games in a third game in 4 days. So another situation where we could see tired legs. But I think this is more about the look ahead Saturday, their game versus the Vegas Golden Knights. So give me the Coyotes plus 1.5, and I lean on the under in this game. We know how strong the defense has been of the Washington Capitals. So we saw the Flyers beat this team 2 times in a row. Why can't the Arizona Coyotes, you guys? Upset alert. Yeah, I hear you on this one. So I'm not sure if I'll get there on the sprinkle on the Coyotes. You guys know I probably will sprinkle on it, but I definitely think taking them plus 1.5 is a perfect situation to take them today. Okay, we got 3 more games left on the board. I want to remind you guys, you are watching Pocket with Joe. If you can hit that like button, hit that subscribe button over here on YouTube, I'd greatly appreciate it. You guys joining me here every day means absolutely the world. So thank you guys. Let's make some more freaking money today. We had a strong one yesterday, going 4-1 on that long shot. We got that sprinkle on the Sharks. We made some money. We got Tampa in that first period. So let's do it again today. The next game on the board, the Detroit Red Wings taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, Vegas coming in here. Double check these lines at minus 170. So no real movement. It was minus 172 when I looked earlier. Plus 142 here for the Red Wings. Total of 6.5. Husso expected in goal for the Red Wings. Logan Thompson expected for the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas is definitely the better team on the ice in this one. We've seen the struggles of the Red Wings, especially to put the puck in the back of the net. They had a shootout loss versus the Coyotes. That was a 4-3 loss in their last game. This is their last game of a 3-game road trip here. Now, the last time these teams played, Vegas came out so strong, getting a nice win 4-1. They're coming off their first shutout loss too, okay? So the Dallas Stars were in Vegas on Monday night, embarrassed the Vegas Golden Knights, winning that one 4-0. I think Vegas comes out with a vengeance in this one. I'm looking for their defense to completely dominate this game, really lock down the Detroit Red Wings. I'm going to look at the Red Wings team total, under 2.5. I'm getting that at minus 102. I think they struggled to find the back of Logan Thompson's net. We know how strong Logan Thompson is. He's got a 2.72 goals against average. This defense is only allowing 2.87 goals per game and 30.6 shots on goal. The Vegas Golden Knights, I think they've been off since Monday. They've had this rest. I think they come in strong to this one and shut down the Red Wings. The Red Wings have lost their last 11 games following a shootout loss. They're also 2-6 in their last 8 overall. So I'd be looking at the Red Wings team total under 2.5. I like the Vegas Golden Knights in regulation in this one. I don't see this one going to overtime here. The next game, you guys, let me know what you're liking in this one. This is going to be a phenomenal game on the ice, 10 o'clock Eastern. We have the New Jersey Devils taking on the Seattle Kraken. Now, I feel for Seattle with their scheduling spot. I think this is a very hard scheduling spot for them. We had that huge road trip for the Seattle Kraken, if I can talk properly. They were out on the road for 7 games. They came home. It was a Tampa Bay Lightning. Correct me if I'm wrong. They played them. They lost that game. They then headed to Edmonton, lost that game. Now they're headed back home. This is such a hard scheduling spot for this team, especially facing the New Jersey Devils. The Devils just so strong right now. Well, overall on the season, they're 18-2-1 on the road. So strong on the road. They're coming in, the Devils, at minus 125, plus 105 here for the Seattle Kraken. Vanek expected in goal, which is another strike against Seattle. It's going to be hard for Seattle to beat this Devils team. Jack Hughes is one person of the Devils that has been making us so much freaking money, you guys. Taking him for that anytime goal, I'd suggest tonight over those shots on goal. We know the Seattle Kraken really are strong at holding opponents to limited shots on goal, limiting opponents to 28.1 shots on goal. So don't prop bet shots on goal tonight in this one. If you have a feeling someone will score, then just take them for that anytime goal. Now, the New Jersey Devils won Monday night in a shootout versus the Sharks. They should never have taken that one to a shootout. They've won their last 5 games. Seattle has lost their last 2. Now, I know this team is looking to bounce back, and I know this team is strong on one day's rest, and I love what we're seeing out of the Seattle Kraken. Just don't think I can get there with them in this one. I know they are a solid team. They're hard to step in front, but I lean on the Devils here. They've won each of their last 11 games versus Pacific Division opponents. That's pretty strong trend there in this one. Also, I take the over 6.5, you guys. And I know it's going to be hard for Seattle to score on Vanek here, but I do expect them to come in. Then Martin Jones expected here for the Seattle Kraken. And I think with the Kraken, with what we've seen out of their defensive line, that 3.14, we know the Devils can get these goals, averaging that 3.52. I would be confident in the Devils team total over 3.5 as well. I really do think they are the dominating team on the ice, just with scheduling for the Kraken here. I'd love to see these teams match up when they both haven't had such a hard schedule. I think this hard scheduling spot is for the Kraken. Now, the over is hit in the Devils' last 4 road games. It's also hit in their last 6 games overall. And the Kraken are 4-1-2 in their last 7 in their 4th game of a 4-6 situation. So I think we have a strong trend to that over, you guys. I'm going to hit the over 6.5. I think this is a 4-3 game all day long. Yeah, but the Devils are absolutely so phenomenally strong. And I know, Joe, you love your Kraken, and I love the Kraken too, and I love what we've seen out of them, but I can't get behind them with this scheduling spot. If they can come out and beat the Devils after this hard schedule, then hats off to this team, because they are just absolutely dominating in the Pacific Division right now. I love this Pacific Division. It is so good. Last game on the board, we got another competitor in the Pacific Division with the LA Kings. Now, the LA Kings are at home. They're coming in here. Double check these odds for you guys. Minus 135. Love that this is dropped. I see the love coming in for the Dallas Stars, but I'm not buying it. Dallas on that back-to-back. This is their last game of a road trip. They're coming in here at beautiful plus money. You can never get the Stars. Well, you can, but it's rare that you get the Stars at plus 125, but I'm not buying into it. Scott Wedgwood is in goal for them tonight. We don't have Ottinger in goal for the Stars. And while Wedgwood is a good goalie, he's got a 3.19 goals against average. There's a huge difference between the two. So Ottinger and Wedgwood here. I'm going to go with the LA Kings because I think Phoenix Cobley has been such a difference maker to this team. I don't know if they're just playing with more confidence with him. He is playing phenomenal hockey. He was brought up from the AHL. Remember, we bet the Kings that first night that he played for the LA Kings, and I can't remember who that was against. It was a very strong opponent. He came in absolutely phenomenal, and he's just been helping us make money ever since. He's got a 2.59 goals against average. You guys are so lucky you can't see how much I talk with my hands, because I swear my hands, like, they're down here and they're talking like the whole time. Would be so distracting if you guys were watching this. But I got to take the Kings here at minus 135. This team is rested as well. So they're off a loss. They lost to the Devils 5-2 on Saturday. They haven't played since. This is Thursday, you guys. I think this team rested is going to be dangerous in this one. They won their last 4 games playing on 3 days or more rest. So I'm looking for this one to come out strong. I love the Kings here in regulation as well. I think you're getting tons of value. You're going to get some plus money with the Kings in regulation in this one. And you know I like Vegas as well. So I just don't see the Stars. I think this is a bad scheduling spot, but they have won their last 4 as a dog versus the LA Kings. So something to keep in mind, but they've struggled versus the Pacific in their last 5, only winning one of those versus the Pacific. Now, on that back-to-back, the Stars are not strong. So they've gone 1-5 in their last 6 games. The only scary thing is the Stars lost last night to the Sharks. They're going to be eager to finish this road trip with a win. I just don't think they're able to pull it off versus the Kings. The home ice has been huge between these two, with the home team winning the last 5 meetings. And like I said, the Kings just coming in so rested and ready for this one. Now, we had ridden the Kings in that first period. We got a stretch of 7 games. That 8th game fell off with that game versus the Devils. I think we get right back on the ship with the Kings in that first period on that puck line. Minus 0.5 in that first period, you guys. You gotta love these odds. Plus 160. I expect the Kings to go up off of this rest and get us that plus money. So, favorite bet of the day, Kings on the puck line in that first period at plus 160. I absolutely think it should be money in this one. I just don't trust the Stars on the back-to-back. So, looking for the Kings to come out strong. Okay, let's do a recap here. Now, these teams, if you're looking at the total of this one, they do trend to that under. But I don't know if I can get there with the under 6 in this one with Scotch Wedgwood in goal. And the Kings, I think their team is so strong on both sides of the puck. Their defense sometimes completely locks down opponents, but in other games, they really step up offensively, and we see a couple goals slip. So I'm going to stay off this total. I don't like it at 6. If it was 6.5, I'd be taking the under at 6. I just can't get on either side of it. Okay. Let's recap all of these 13 games here. And then, yeah, don't fight in the comments, you guys. No fighting. Let's all just be nice to each other. Remember, everyone has their own struggles every day, and sometimes messages don't come across as they're meaning to. Okay. Anaheim Ducks and the Columbus Blue Jackets. If I had to take the side, it would be the Ducks here, plus 138. Again, not a game. I'm rushing to the window to bet the Ducks in this one. I'm going to leave it out of the parlay. You're trusting which team of 2 bad teams is going to perform like they should. I don't want to have any trust in these teams. If you guys want to bet it, I would take the Ducks. Now, the Boston Bruins and the New York Rangers, I'm going to look at the Bruins getting the win in this one. I think they can come out nice and strong. These teams trend to that under. But on a back-to-back, I really do trust the Bruins to put up the goals and allow a couple in with Swarman in goal. I'm going to go the over 5.5 if I have to take a total in this one. I'm going to grab the Bruins on the money line for the parlay and hope that they are not who kills this parlay. They've been so strong in New York, though. They're 6-2 in the last 8 meetings in New York. Now the Chicago Blackhawks and the Philadelphia Flyers. I love the Flyers here for a nice big win. I think you can hit the Flyers team total over 3.5 at minus 125. I think there's still value on that. We know the Chicago Blackhawks are giving up the goals. The Flyers over 1.5, I think, is another On that puck line, -1.5 is another great way to go at -110. I'm looking for them to dominate this game and for Carter Hart to have a really strong game. So give me the Flyers in regulation for the parlay. Just bring those odds down a little bit. I think this is a great game for them. The next one, and that total, you guys, if you want to bet the total, I'd lean to the under. I just don't see the Blackhawks getting the goals. So maybe the Blackhawks team total under 2.5. Now the Florida Panthers and the Montreal Canadiens. This is one where I think we got an upset in the making. The Panthers just not strong in Montreal. I'm going to look at the Montreal's team total over 2.5. I think if Montreal is able to pull off this one, they need to get at least 3 goals in this game. They really need 4, but I think Montreal over 2.5, the best bet. That's what I'm going to throw into the parlay because that's not too juiced. Over 2.5, getting that at -102. I think this game flies over that total of 6.5. I like Montreal +1.5 on that puck line as well. And I'm sprinkling on that money line. I can't not sprinkle at +202. Sam Montembeault, I think, is the best player prop of this whole card today. Taking his safe shots on goal over 30.5 is coming in at -112, and I absolutely love it. I think he's really going to stand tall in this one. We know the Florida Panthers just berate goalies with shots on goal. They're the second best overall in the league at getting those shots, averaging 35.4. He did save 34 shots of 41 shots on goal in his last game. So while he did allow 7 goals, he still saved 34 goals. We're not asking that much of him to save 30.5 in this one. So that is my favorite prop. The Minnesota Wild and the Carolina Hurricanes. I love the first period under 1.5. That way we don't have to deal with empty netters. That's what I'm going to throw into the parlay. Wild versus Canes under 1.5 for that first period. Looking for both defenses to roll out so strong. The Wild have struggled in Carolina. Carolina's coming in off of so much rest. I do lean on the Carolina Hurricanes here in regulation, but Marc-Andre Fleury in goal for the Wild. The Wild's defense has really stepped up. I could see this being a little bit of puck luck with the puck bouncing one way or the other. Wild won the last game 2-1. I really do think we've got another 2-1 style game here. So I'm going to stay off a side, but if I had to take a side, it would be the Canes here. And that would have to be in regulation at what you're getting. The Winnipeg Jets and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like I said, you guys, I trust Connor Hellebuyck bet at home to not allow in the goals. I think this one is an over 6.5 here in this game. 4-3 style game. I don't care who wins it, but strong trends to the Leafs getting the win, winning their last 6 home games following an overtime game. I think they probably get this win, but strong trends to that road team going 7-3 in the last 10. I just love the over 6.5, so that's what I'm going to throw into the parlay. The Jets and the Leafs over 6.5. The next game on the board, the New York Islanders and the Buffalo Sabres. For the parlay, I'm going to throw the Sabres on the money line. I just don't trust the Islanders on the road. I also think this one goes over the total of 6. Islanders allowing too many goals on the road, struggling too much on the road, and the Sabres can be highly explosive offensively, and their defense isn't great. So give me the over 6. The Nashville Predators and the St. Louis Blues. Give me the Blues all day long at -105, +100, whatever you guys get it for here. I love the Blues in this situation at home. I think the Predators are going to struggle in this one. I think the goals do come in on both sides, though, because we know the St. Louis Blues do allow those goals. So I lean to the over in this one, but the Blues here on the money line. Definitely a phenomenal way to go in this one. The Tampa Bay Lightning and the Edmonton Oilers, another one. I'm expecting these goals to come in. I'm going to take Edmonton here on the money line. I do think they get this win at home. I'd look at Evander Kane for that anytime goal as well in this one. The Edmonton Oilers team total over 3.5 at +122. Looks like such nice, easy money. I hope they can get 4 goals in this one, but I really do think we've got a strong game that Edmonton gets a win. I love the first period over 1.5. If you like the first period over 1.5, it's highly juiced. So I'd be looking at another to parlay that with another team or set of teams that you think can go over that 1.5 in that first period. Don't bet it solo on its own. The Washington Capitals and the Arizona Coyotes. I think we've got a game here where the Coyotes can make a run for this win. I'm going to take them plus 1.5, and that's what I'm going to throw into the parlay. And I'm going to sprinkle on that money line separately at plus 180. You guys knew I would get there. The more and more I think about this, the more I think that the Coyotes have the chance to pull off this win. The Capitals have only won 3 of the last 10 meetings in Arizona. I think we got a lower scoring battle, though, on our hands for the Coyotes to get this win. It's going to be a lower scoring one. They're not going to outplay the Capitals on the offensive side of the puck. I think their defense really comes out strong, and we see the Capitals really strong defensively as well. Like I said, the Flyers beat them twice in a row. Why can't the Arizona Coyotes? So I'm going to lean on the under 6 in this one and the Coyotes plus 1.5. The Detroit Red Wings and the Vegas Golden Knights. I think the Red Wings team total under 2.5. Phenomenal way to go in this one. I'm going to throw Vegas on the money line into this parlay. I think they get the win here at home. Off an embarrassing loss to the Devils. And then talking about those Devils, the Red Wings team total under 2.5. If I didn't already say that, another solid way to take this game. I'm going to stay off the total for the full game because it just all depends on how hard Vegas wants to destroy the Red Wings, I think, in this one tonight. Now, the New Jersey Devils and the Seattle Kraken. You guys know I'd love to tell you to release the Kraken because we all love what we see now, the Kraken. I just can't get there with the scheduling spot. I lean on the Devils for this win. But I think the best way to go, even though I know we've got strong defenses on both sides, both teams limiting the ability to get these shots on goal, I do think the Devils and the Krakens go over the 6.5 today. So, but I do lean on the Devils to get that win. I think it's a 4-3 game. Jack Hughes, like we've said, anytime goal, absolutely a must bet. Don't take shots on goal in this one. The Kraken limit, the Devils limit. Whoever you think is going to score a goal, take them to slip that one in. And the Dallas Stars and the LA Kings, the Kings, I love them here on the money line. I'm going to take the Kings at minus 135 for the parlay. This team is strong and rested. I wish I had the guts to take them at 1.5, laying the 1.5 on the puck line. I'm not going to get there. I think this is a 1-score game. It's going to be a complete battle on the ice. They trend to the under between these two, but with Scott Wedgwood in goal, with the Kings coming out off of rest, I really do think this one probably goes over that total. Not going to be betting that side, though, just if you guys want to bet it. 4 of the last 5 games for the Kings have gone over the total. 1 has pushed. They've been exploding offensively in some of these games. And on that back-to-back for the Dallas Stars, I think their defense is a little bit tired and really doesn't limit opponents like we've been seeing. They've been holding opponents to 2.65. I think they allow more goals to come in here. And we know the Kings have been allowing that 3.39. So you guys, that is the recap. Let's just go over this long shot parlay one more time, and then we will do best bets, and then you guys can get back to your day. Side tip, if you're watching this later, make sure you play at 2 times speed. Much easier to listen to me talking even faster than I do. So I'm going to go over this parlay slow, though, because I know some of you said I talk way too fast in it. Some of you also told me that the start to the show is too long. I will try to make it shorter. Whatever you guys want. Just tell me what you want. Okay. Sean, you are welcome. Okay, the Bruins on the money line. I'm going to take the Flyers in regulation, or you can just throw them on the money line. I don't hate just throwing them on the money line too in a parlay. Montreal's team total over 2.5. The Wild and the Carolina Hurricanes. That first period, I love it under 1.5. I really hope these two defenses do exactly what I expect. And the goaltending under 1.5 in that first period. The Jets and the Leafs, I'm going to take that game over 6.5. And I take the Sabres here on the money line, the Blues on the money line, the Edmonton Oilers on the money line, the Coyotes plus 1.5 on the puck line. You guys know I love them sprinkled on that money line. I'm going to take Vegas on the money line. I'm going to take the Kraken and the Devils over 6.5 and the Kings on the money line. So that is I think it's 12 games because I didn't put the Ducks game in. So that's a 12 leg parlay. If you're looking for a shorter long shot parlay, I would take the Kings on the money line, the Sabres on the money line, the Blues, and the Oilers on the money line. I love all 4 of those on the money line. Again, that's the Kings, Sabres, Blues, and Oilers. You're going to get a good payout with that. Best bets of the day. I love the Kings here in that first period. We got to go back to riding the Kings in that first period, minus 0.5 on that puck line, up plus 160. I absolutely adore that bet. I also really do think Vegas in regulation, phenomenally strong bet in this game today. I don't see them having another terrible game after losing their last one, getting shut out and getting embarrassed versus the Devils. I think they take it out on the Red Wings in this game today. So Vegas in regulation, the Kings in the first period on that puck line. 2 top bets of the day. If you guys are looking for a third top bet of the day, remember you can parlay that first period over 1.5 for the Oilers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. I do like that, but too highly juiced if it's not parlayed. If you're looking to parlay it with any teams, I'd look at the Islanders and the Buffalo Sabres that first period over 1.5. I do think that one comes in. And then I think the over 6 between the Islanders and the Sabres is my other third best bet of the day, you guys. So I hope we make some freaking money tonight. You guys make sure you hit that like button. Definitely help us make some freaking money. I appreciate each and every one of you. Yeah, Matt, that was a 12-leg parlay because I left the Ducks and the Columbus Blue Jackets out of it. If you want to put one of those teams in, I put the Ducks. I think they probably get the win over the Columbus Blue Jackets. But like I said, you're trusting one bad team and another bad team to do what you expect. So I can't trust either of them. Tony, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Tony has been a long time friend, you guys. Absolutely incredible friend, actually. So you guys, that's what we're going with. The best bets of the day. Remember, Vegas in regulation. Kings first period on that puck line minus 0.5 plus 160. That is such value. And the Islanders and the Sabres over that 6 in that game. If you're looking to parlay 2 first periods, the Oilers game with the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Islanders and the Sabres, both of those ones over 1.5 in that first period so that you get better value. You guys have a great day. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. We'll see you back here at 3:30 Eastern tomorrow. Bye, guys.